You may have wondered how a regional conflict between Israel and Iran might affect you. In today's video, I aim to do exactly that. Shed light on the direct consequences an open war between these two nations could have on the wider world. To grasp the potential impact, we need to examine each country separately. First, consider the global implications of Iran going to war. Then look at Israel's position, and how third countries might be drawn in. Why Iran matters. Geostrategic location. Stretching from the Middle East toward the Far East, Iran's southern coastline borders both the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. The key choke point is the narrow Strait of Hormuz. Though it appears to be just a channel linking two gulfs, roughly 20% of the world's crude oil and 26% of its liquefied natural gas flow through this strait. Should Iran blockade it, seize tankers, or attack LNG carriers, global energy prices would surge, fueling inflation and forcing central banks to tighten policy, potentially triggering a major economic crisis. Resource endowment. Iran has the world's third largest proven oil reserves, after Venezuela and Saudi Arabia, and the second largest gas reserves, after Russia. Even under Western sanctions, its supplies remain pivotal to global markets. If big buyers like China suddenly needed alternative crude sources, prices would climb quickly. One reason Washington is eager to keep Israel from escalating with Tehran. Demographics and migration risk. With 88 million people, Iran is the Middle East's second most populous state after Pakistan, and its population is relatively young. That youth bulge could sustain a protracted conflict, and a full-scale war might unleash a migration wave, sending millions of Iranians into neighboring states or even farther, to Europe and China. Regional power projection. Tehran leads the Shiite Muslim bloc and anchors an axis of allies. It holds sway over Iraq's government and several powerful Shiite militias. It backs Hezbollah in Lebanon, whose forces rival Israel's own army. It supports Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and assorted Palestinian factions. And it arms Yemen's battle-hardened Houthis. An Israel-Iran war would compel Jerusalem to confront all of these fronts simultaneously. Partnership with Russia. Iran has supplied Moscow with drones and missiles for the Ukraine war. A new conflict would likely divert those weapons to Iran's own fronts, curbing aid to Russia. The nuclear dimension. Tehran claims it is closer than ever to a nuclear weapon. War would raise the odds of a nuclear breakthrough, though the scenario remains unlikely. Still, it cannot be ignored. Why Israel matters? Mediterranean gas discoveries. Over the past decade, Israel has found major offshore fields, Leviathan and Tamar, turning it into an emerging gas exporter. Iran could strike these facilities, further spiking prices already elevated by any Hormuz blockade. Energy price ripple effects. Soaring energy costs would push up the price of nearly everything, sending inflation higher and prompting central banks to raise interest rates. The same disruption could occur if conflict closed the Red Sea, forcing Asia-Europe shipping onto longer routes. A possible brain drain upside a full-scale war might spark the emigration of highly skilled Israeli workers. While harmful to Israel, Europe could benefit by tapping this talent in fields like intensive agriculture, cybersecurity, and advanced software development. Market turbulence. Wars typically jolt financial markets as investors flee risky assets. Such sell-offs are often short-lived, supply chains reroute, fear subsides, and markets rebound. Your turn. Did I miss anything important? Which consequence do you think would matter most? Let me know in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more updates on this critical conflict.